For this week's Hope Rises segment, I'm joined by our friend Kate Glazer with a family who faced adversity and fought back. Welcome, Kate. Tell us more about who you brought in today.
Well, we love stories like this, obviously, so thank you for having us again this week. We have Matt and Sarah Watkins, and they have this incredible journey that they have been through. Sarah is actually writing a book currently to inspire others who are going through that journey, so excuse me, sorry. So that's why we brought them in today.
Okay. Matt, can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Sure. I was the valedictorian of a high school class. I then went to undergraduate work at the University at Buffalo, and then went to Cornell University for my master's and PhD. And in addition to taking classes and doing research, I got bit hard by the competitive ballroom dance bug. And for the next 6.5 years, I competed in multiple competitions throughout the Northeast United States.
Wow.
And had a blast. And then for the next 8 years, I was a professor at Harvey Mudd College, Bucknell University, and Lafayette College. And towards the end of that 8th year, I had a major brain injury that completely rocked my world. And I'm going to turn it over to my mom to give you a brief recap of those next 2.5 months.
Okay,
Yeah, so Matt doesn't remember anything about those early days at all. I got the call no mother ever wants to get. They had found him unconscious and barely breathing. They had rushed him to the hospital, and the CAT scan showed a massive brain bleed, and there was no hope offered. He was on life support, and we lived 4 hours away, so I was the first one to hit the road to get down there because we didn't want him to die without family with him. So there was a hard life and death decision. Some encouraged us to let him pass because there was a fear he could be in a vegetative state for the rest of his life. Others said we really should give him a chance, and that's what we ended up grabbing a hold of. We didn't want to deny him the possibility of getting better. And then so he was in the ICU for a month. In rehab, we brought him closer to home for 4 months, and he had to learn everything. He couldn't talk. He had to be on a respirator at first. Couldn't walk. He couldn't do anything. So it was gradually building everything back.
Yeah.
And then he came home, and then he did outpatient therapy. I eventually retired early because it was too hard for my husband and I to work, be home, work, and all of that. So I started Mom's Boot Camp. And we just worked all the time on anything from dressing to cooking to everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that kept us busy for a very long time.
Matt, how did you get better, and how did you find the motivation to relearn everything?
I would say probably a combination of the least thing. I am internally motivated and driven by that to make me go forward, and I always strive for the best I can achieve. So I went to that, and so over the next, I believe, 4 years, I stayed at home with my mom and dad in Boston Spa, so Saratoga Springs, New York, and for the last 3.5 years, I've been on my own in Buffalo, New York, attempting to become a professor again.
That is amazing. Wow. Okay, so Sarah, you are actually writing a book. You've created a website that offers help for people facing these life-changing injuries. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, so first let's point out it's not just for brain injury. People with any type of major life-changing event will benefit from reading my book. I really am trying to empower and inspire people, to give them hope, to not just give up, to fight through it. And then on the website, I've posted a lot of resources. The book is there, but I found during the early days, I was like reinventing the wheel. There was no one place to go for all the information that I was looking for. So I've tried to do that. There's legal information about power of attorney, financial issues, about using your long-term disability, getting Social Security. There's information on caregiving resources for the family who carry the brunt of the work at first. More stuff on agencies such as the the Brain Injury Association, but multiple sclerosis, reaching out to people that can help you. We have a segment that just talks about everything we did at home. And then there's some inspiration. My faith was really strong in all of this. The name of my book is Celebrating the Small Stuff. A mother mother, physical therapist and woman of faith, raises her son a second time.
Yeah.
And so there's just a lot there that I hope will inspire people. And I also have 3 audiences for it. The first, of course, is the patient and the caregivers, but it also will help healthcare providers because they work with people and then they leave and they don't know if their advice and the recommendation was right. So by seeing our story, it may change their perspective on how they deal with patients and families. And the third group,
maybe for the community and how.
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's it. Because I learned the community can come alongside of us.
Yeah.
And typically people say, if I can do anything for you, let me know. I want them to change that verbiage to say, I can help you. Would you like me to wash your windows, rake your lawn? Can I sit with Matt while you go do your errands, or can I do your errands? And then more on a professional level, he was his expertise was in computer engineering and architecture. So engineering people, retired people, people at the university walked alongside of him. You know, how can you step up in small and big ways? And even today, Matt could benefit from more help in that area.
Yeah, absolutely. You have such an incredible story, both of you, not giving up on your son and you fighting through the unimaginable. And it's a huge inspiration. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing more. And thank you, Kate, for bringing this story to us. Viewers, if you'd like to support Matt's Road to Recovery and keep up with Sarah's book, just visit mattsroadtorecovery.com. And thanks again for coming in.
Thank you for having us.